Alright, now when we talk about laptops, each manufacturer has its own game. Now, some brands focused on offering just the best specs possible in that price segment. Some brands just focus on offering the best build quality. Some brands offer the best performance. Some brands offer the best cooling, and so on. And similarly, there's HP, which clearly has a focus on the style statement. Like this right here is the all new HP Pavilion Plus 14, which is one of the most stylish laptops in its price segment. But that's not to say that it's just looks. I mean, this thing does pack in a lot of power. But the big question with all of HP laptops is, as always, does it manage to justify its price tag? Let's find out. This is Warren from GTR and you're watching my in-depth review of the HP Pavilion 14 Plus. Let's get started. Alright, so right off the bat, let's start by talking about the design here. Now, usually the Pavilion laptops were known for offering the same style language as the NV series, but with a cheaper build quality, but that's definitely not the case here. This is HP's first full metal cover laptop made from recycled aluminum, and the build is quite solid. The hinge is quite sturdy and there's minimal keyboard flex. Now we have the silver color variant of this laptop that definitely looks more premium than its price tag, and weighing at just 1.4 kgs, it's quite lightweight and portable too. In terms of I/O, on the left side you have a 3.5 headphone jack and a super speed USB-A port coupled with a micro SD card reader. Over to the right side, you have another super speed USB Type-A port coupled with two USB Type-C ports, with both the ports supporting USB PD and DisplayPort 1.4. There's also a full-size HDMI port here. Now, as good as all of that sounds, interestingly, neither of these two USB ports actually supports Thunderbolt 4, which is surprising because a lot of competitors, which are actually priced lower than this, do come with Thunderbolt support built into them. So yeah. Alright, so moving along, let's talk about the display. Now, the laptop here comes with a 14-inch 2.2K display with a resolution of 2240 by 1400. It's an IPS panel with a peak brightness of 300 nits, and you also get 100% sRGB coverage here. Now, as far as the picture quality is concerned, it's great. You got a sharp panel here with great color reproduction, which comes in handy for content consumption. The matte finish also means that outdoor legibility isn't a major concern here. Also aiding the display department, we have the dual speakers from Bang & Olufsen here, and I would say the speakers are loud, which is good. Unfortunately, they definitely lack clarity and you can't really push them to the peak volume. However, around the 80% mark, the speakers are decent enough for content consumption, with a focus definitely being on your vocals, whereas the mids and the lows will be a bit mushy. Alright, so moving along, let's talk about the keyboard here. And as you can see on the screen right now, I think you can probably judge what my biggest complaint with this keyboard is going to be. Silver keyboard with backlighting just doesn't work. I mean, this is evident when working in ambient lighting conditions. You can either rely on the key print or the backlight, never on both of them. With that being said, the keyboard here is pretty solid and the layout is very well spread out. And what's more is that there's good key travel too. One thing I'd like to highlight, however, is that the feedback is a little loud here, which might not appeal to everyone. In fact, we have a mic on the top. Here's an audio test for you guys to just judge for yourself. It's definitely louder as compared to most Ultrabooks out there, which again might be a make or break deal for your use case. I mean, if you're a business meeting and you want a silent keyboard, then I can understand you might want to skip this one. But personally, I feel the overall feedback does help a lot when you're typing. So yeah, it is a personal choice. Now below the keyboard, we have the touchpad, which is pretty good. It's easily one of the best touchpads in this price segment thanks to its wide surface area that's not only smooth but also offers excellent palm rejection. There's also a fingerprint scanner to the side of it, which was able to recognize my finger 8 out of 10 times, which is pretty decent too. Now there's also a 5 megapixel webcam here, which actually works very well. I mean, the skin tones could be a little bit better. There's a lot of reddish tone happening here, but other than that, I mean, the picture quality is pretty good. It's normal, like there's no haziness here, there's no lot of graininess here, and of course the picture quality is smooth as well. And as far as the mics are concerned, I'll let you guys be the judge. Speaking of which, HP also bundles the HP Enhanced Lighting app inside, which basically lets you form a ring light or other lighting overlays on your screen when you're taking a video call in low light conditions. Now, personally, I found it too distracting, not to forget that it's essentially a waste of your screen space. But as far as the feature itself, well, it does work. Alright, so moving along, let's talk about the performance. Now, our unit here comes equipped with the Intel Core i5-12500H processor, coupled with 16GB of DDR4 RAM, clocked at 3200 MHz. There's the Intel Iris Xe graphics for GPU, along with a 512GB NVMe TLC SSD for storage. Now, in terms of benchmarks like Geekbench and Cinebench, you can see that the i5 performs pretty well. The storage is quite snappy too, and the day-to-day performance of the laptop is pretty good. You can work with multiple software, and the Pavilion breezes past through it all. Now, this isn't a gaming laptop, but if you still want to game a little on the side, the laptop can easily handle old titles like GTA 5 at medium to high settings without any issues. You can also play Valorant and Rocket League on this with ease, but I would suggest using an external monitor because obviously esports on a 60Hz display is just not fun. Also, as far as the software part is concerned, the laptop comes with Windows 11 Home Single Language with a licensed copy of MS Office 2021 Home and Student Edition. While all of that sounds good, there's a ton of pre-installed apps here. There's the usual ExpressVPN and Wild Tangent games, and also McAfee antivirus, which personally I don't recommend to anyone, but yeah. Also, the good part here is that you do get 25GB of Dropbox storage bundled for 12 months, which is always welcome. Lastly, there's the battery life. The laptop comes with a 51 Wh battery, which HP claims should last you over 8 hours on a single charge. Now, in my testing, that number was more around the 5-hour mark, which included a lot of web browsing, listening to music on Spotify, editing a little bit of images in Photoshop, and yeah, that's about it. Now, you also get a 90-watt USB-C charger bundled in the box that supports fast charging, which is pretty good and quite convenient. So, the big question, is the HP Pavilion Plus 14 worth it? Well, our unit here as configured retails for about 80,000, and at that price point, it's a tough pill to swallow. I mean, as good as a brand HP is and as good as this laptop looks, I just can't overlook the cost cuttings that are happening here. See, I understand that you have to pay the premium of the latest 12th gen processor, but the lack of a Thunderbolt 4 port, or the lack of a high refresh rate display, and even the lack of even an MX series GPU on this thing is really tough when there are competitors offering similar or better priced laptops for much less. Now, of course, this brings us to the point that it is a laptop from the house of HP, which in itself is a reliable brand, and that itself does demand a premium. Of course, when you're buying a laptop from a reliable brand, then you have to pay a premium for that, and HP is one of the best when it comes to laptops, especially right now because their service has improved vastly. So as a critic, I don't have issues recommending HP laptops to anyone out there who wants a laptop with reliable service and no fusses involved. With that being said, if the brand is the major judging point here, then I would suggest go for the bigger brother. Because if you just stretch the budget a little more, you get the i7 variant of this laptop, which not only comes with a 90Hz display, that is an OLED panel. And that thing, at the time of recording, currently retails for 87,000 on Amazon. So yeah, for just 7,000 more, not only do you get a more powerful processor, but you also get a much better display. And at that price point, that is an easy recommendation. This one, yeah, there are better i5 processor laptops out there. Well, that was it. If you found this video helpful, make sure to let us know by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more awesome tech content. Till then, this is Juan from GTR, and I'll see you in the next one.